Hi, I'm Nick, and I like comics.
And I'm Adam, and I know comics. So today we're discussing the fact that Nick is stupid, and he likes Deadpool, and I just don't care for Deadpool that much. No argument there? You're dumb?
I'm an awful human being because I like Deadpool. Actually, I decided that I was going to like Deadpool a long time ago. Adam got me into this really cool tabletop board game called HeroClix.
It was cool.
It was cool. I don't know if it still is cool because I don't play it anymore.
Me neither.
But he had a Deadpool character, and I was like, this guy's really cool. I want to get into him. And about that time, I had gotten the Marvel Unlimited app, so I was able to go back and reread. And I'm the type of guy that I really like to start from the beginning. And so I said, I'm going to like Deadpool. I want to like Deadpool. I hear all this stuff about him, how he likes chimichangas, and he's crazy, and he talks in yellow word bubbles. And so I wanted to read him from the beginning. So that's what I did. I started with the 1993, I believe, what they call. Is that considered Deadpool Volume 1?
It's a 4-issue mini.
Yeah.
I don't think it's considered Volume 1. I think it's just Deadpool mini.
Right. Yeah. So I read the 4-issue 93, the 4-issue 94, and then I jumped into the 1997 run of Deadpool, which was his first solo series. Yeah, and so I genuinely like the character. I have read a lot of the character. He's ridiculous, he's silly, he's all sorts of stuff. But one thing that I noticed as a Deadpool fan that really infuriates me is that me as a Deadpool fan, from reading the comics, what I see cosplayers and how people talk of them, they do not mesh. They do not go together. And that's, I think, why Adam really doesn't care for the character.
First of all, I don't think he's that funny. Now,
what?
Right. I know. Everybody's really offended to that. But truthfully, I mean, I've read all the 90s Deadpool. I've read a decent chunk of Cable in Deadpool. And a little bit of some of the more recent stuff. I liked his 2008 series okay. But I just don't find him very, very funny. He's ridiculous, sure. And in a certain setting, like, he acts as a great foil to main characters with him being the crazy one. But the more interesting characters are around him. That's why I liked Uncanny X-Force a lot, where he gets to be kind of goofy, but he's not over the top.
Yeah, he's way tamed back. If you've read Uncanny X-Force, that's not a good picture of who Deadpool is as a character. Am I going to say his name correct once? It is not a good representation of who he is as a character if you want to get the crazy, witty, ridiculous, pervy kind of guy.
Right. He's a little more normal there, which is probably why I like it better. But there's a lot of reasons. One, he's not that funny, you know? He's just not. And he's annoying, actually. It's not... Like, Spider-Man can be funny, but sometimes he can be annoying. Secret Wars, Spider-Man's annoying. But in this, Deadpool takes over. He's the most annoying character in the room, always. It's like he tries to be. And some people find that...
he is the Merc with the mouth.
Right, and I know people will be mad at me, but I'm so glad that they basically shut his mouth in that crappy Wolverine movie.
Yeah. Now, in your opinion, that was the best thing about that movie, huh? They showed his mouth shut.
That was so awesome. And then the fans, for me, like you were saying, the fans have a way of ruining it. People, I mean, when I worked at a comic book store for a couple years, people come into it thinking like, oh, I want to pick up some Deadpool stuff because I'm already a Deadpool fan. When really they haven't had the opportunity to become a fan because they haven't read the source content. Now, that's not saying that's the only way to become it. It's just that at the time, the only stuff you saw outside of the comic books with Deadpool was his barely being in a Wolverine movie, and then the fact that people seem to think that he really loves chimichangas and that he's this goofball Spider-Man-like character. Now, fact is, chimichangas are delicious, but Deadpool is not. Sorry, that's a terrible line.
Did you just say that chimichangas are delicious and Deadpool is not?
Yes.
Delicious?
Yes, to digest as a reader.
That is one thing I think that really, as a Deadpool fan, that drives me crazy about Deadpool fandom. I don't know exactly where it came from, but you can argue that Deadpool is one of the top 3 to 5 most popular properties that Marvel owns right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, Walmart sells Deadpool t-shirts. Okay?
Yeah.
For Walmart to sell anything like that, it's got to be pretty high up there on the pop culture, whatever it is. Whenever the Marvel Now came out, they had a bunch of Deadpool variant covers on almost everything, which is throwback to what they used to do in the early to mid 90s whenever Marvel was tanking and they put Wolverine on the cover of everything. Wolverine might not have been in the book, but if he was on the cover, he was going to sell it.
Right.
Okay, so that's what they would do at Deadpool. So that's one thing that I'm like, where did this come from? Where did this popularity of this character come from? And I think it's a sense that they think that he's this crazy nut job and he'll do whatever, which he kind of will, but I really lost what I was saying. Like, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I
That's-
don't know
I
where I
think-
started.
Honestly, I think stay with it because I think that's the point here is that I can't figure out why it is everybody is gravitating to Deadpool and Harley Quinn, another character who's just crazy and people love that, and I don't because it's unless they do a really really great job writing the character, I don't enjoy it, and I don't think they've done a great job writing Deadpool.
Spoiler alert, in the Marvel Now, in the story The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where Deadpool teamed up with Captain America and Wolverine, and there was this whole story that came out, and basically they tried to humanize Deadpool by, one, making him a good guy. For his entire existence, he was either a bad guy as a mercenary, or at best, an anti-hero that really... He would always do the bad thing. He would always do the wrong thing.
He's incredibly selfish.
Yeah, incredibly selfish. Everything was always about money. And so in that story, what they really, really tried to do was, one, make him a good guy by teaming him up with Captain America and Wolverine, and two, really humanize him by trying to give him a daughter. Okay? Yeah. And the last half, the Marvel Now stuff really wasn't that great, minus the Dead President's run. It's probably volume 1 of the Marvel Now. Where he does crazy stuff, like he fights Howard Taft, who's a zombie president, in the bathtub while they're flying through the air. It's totally over the top and totally ridiculous. I'm boring Adam just talking about it. But whenever they try to humanize Deadpool and make him a good guy and all this stuff, give him a child, it really tanked the story. I mean, overall, as the story went on, as the comics went on, it made it way less interesting.
That's funny because I think I've read the first 2 or 3 issues of Hawkeye versus Deadpool or Deadpool versus Hawkeye, whatever order it is, and I actually enjoyed it a lot because Deadpool has a family, and to me that's funny. That's what I think is funny. They're forcing him into a normal role. Like in that one, it's a Halloween-based thing, and it's like he's not masquerading as Deadpool, but as somebody else, and I actually enjoyed that. Not mostly because I like Hawkeye, but it was nice to see Deadpool in a different situation than him just being like, money, women, tacos.
One place where I am going to rant here a little bit is about this idea that Deadpool absolutely loves chimichangas. His preferred food is Mexican food and primarily tacos. I've read 240 of his 250 issues, and that includes, all of his major runs, Deadpool Core, Cable and Deadpool, and in those, anytime he talks about food, it's always tacos. In Cable and Deadpool number 13, actually, Nathan Summers, who is Cable, is floating around on this island that he has suspended above the water, and they have free food everywhere, and Deadpool actually goes in and he starts saying chimichanga, chimichanga, because they're giving away chimichangas, and he's like, oh, chimichanga, chimichanga, chimichanga. He's like, I don't even actually like chimichangas. I just like saying the word chimichangas. And then the waiter says, can I help you? What do you want? And Deadpool says, enchiladas, por favor. That's funny. Deadpool likes tacos. Right. Okay, tacos.
And pancakes.
And pancakes. He did make a swimming pool full of pancakes one time. So there's my rant. He likes tacos. Seriously, tacos.
I mean, it's frustrating because they sell so much product that involves chimichangas with Deadpool that now means like Marvel has taken on what the fans made up, I guess.
Right.
And that to me is kind of frustrating too. Like don't feed them this garbage. Like be truthful with it.
Yeah.
And stay true to your guns on this one. Like Deadpool likes tacos, which shouldn't be a big deal, but it's just the fact that people make up whatever garbage they want and think about, and then that becomes reality, and that's frustrating to me because I read it and I take it for what it is, but these fans who maybe don't know who maybe don't know the source material, they're making stuff up for themselves. They're rationalizing why they like the character, and they don't even know why.
Like I said, I have read so much of Deadpool, and I will defend him because I like him. I have invested reading time into him, and I really like him as a character. But there are other characters that are more relatable. He is this crazy guy that used to have word balloons, that doesn't have word balloons anymore, than like voices inside of his head. And another interesting thing is that we really didn't find out that he was absolutely crazy until much later, after he was after his creation as a character. Right. And I think it's in the limited series Wade Wilson's War that we really see this thing that he's absolutely bananas and absolutely bonkers. And Adam and I will both agree that the best Deadpool stuff that's out there is stuff whenever he's interacting with characters that he normally doesn't interact with. Cable and Deadpool is probably the best Deadpool that you will read because it's really funny because you have that straight-laced military soldier guy in Cable, and then you have the ridiculous, wacky Deadpool.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, that's the classic comedy duo setup. You got the straight man and the funny man. So anyway, let us know how you feel about this. Do you like Deadpool? Do you not like Deadpool? Comment below how you feel about that.
Yeah. Does this comic book fandom that people that don't read comics but are really invested in characters and really like characters. We see that a lot with Deadpool. We see it a lot with Harley Quinn. We see it a lot with Batman and a bunch of the Avengers because the movies are so popular. And so does that bother you as a comic book fan to see your character get dragged through the mud or people think that they know about your character when they actually really don't? How does that make you feel? Us comic book snobs, I'm sorry I'm being really comic book snobby about this Deadpool
Never
thing.
apologize.
But really, do your homework if you're gonna claim a guy as your character. If you like him, that's fine. But if you want to say that you know all about him because you watched some video that some guy put on YouTube,
yeah, don't. You just don't.
Right. Try to get a hold of some stuff and read it. The two things that I would recommend would be like I said, the Cable and Deadpool. All of that, if you can get on that. It's all on the Marvel Unlimited app if you are for that. And then the 2008 run of Deadpool, and I think that's Volume 3 is what they call Volume 3. Yeah. Check out that. It's that's the best solo Deadpool is from that one. They kind of had the character down. So.
Or just read any other character.
Or do that.
Because Deadpool sucks.
He doesn't suck.